It just, the timing was really good this year. I think that was the biggest thing, this having an extra month, from a lot of the other majors after the World Championships was huge. And yeah, it's the New York Marathon, how could you not want to come run here? So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm so pumped that, the opportunity came up to run here, and I'm really looking forward to Sunday.
How's your training going since the World Championships?
It's good, yeah. I mean, I had to take some time afterwards, to get healthy first and foremost. That was certainly a big issue, and I was dealing with a fair amount, and so it took some time easy, and I wouldn't say that it was ideal, just in the sense that it's a quick turnaround, and I had to really focus on my health, and that limited me a little bit as far as what I would have liked to have done before a big marathon normally, but. Things have gone well. You got to deal with the hand you're dealt, and I feel like things have come along a lot in the last couple months. So I'm optimistic for sure.
How's your back?
It's better. Yeah, I mean I had a herniated disc, push on a nerve, and it takes a while to heal. There's no way to sugarcoat that, and it's definitely a lot better. And I was in a lot of pain. I'm just walking before Eugene, and that was obviously a bit of a rough race for me there, but these things just take time, and again, I've really taken a step back to focus on my health and getting that better, because it just takes time. So but it's feeling a lot better than it was in Eugene for sure.
Because it was 2:09, but in Eugene, that's the time we see on the result, the camera didn't follow you the entire way. You actually stopped and stretched it out, and what exactly happened in Eugene?
Well, yeah, I probably stopped about 4 or 5 times, I think, in the last several miles there. But yeah, there's no way I was not going to finish there. And so, I just had to do what I needed to do to try to, get myself through. And yeah, it wasn't the worst result, I guess, looking back in hindsight. When I really sat back and was talking to Mike, and we looked back on it. That's a lot of time that I lost just stopping. And then obviously, throw that physically, I really wasn't functioning at a very high level, to say the least. And so, if I can just be healthy, that was what we said. We just got to take the time and get healthy, and that's what I tried to do, leading up to this.
When did you turn that corner? I mean, would you put an estimate on it's been 6 healthy weeks, 7 healthy weeks? What's that look like?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's probably been about at least 6-7 weeks. I have to go back and look, but probably right around there. It's still something that every once in a while we've got to be cognizant of. Sometimes you have a bad day, and it's like you got to be okay backing off and maybe pushing the workout back another day, or taking a little bit more time to recover. And so that's just something that we've had to do. But again, really focusing on had good volume and hitting those key workouts. If between it you maybe have to take it a little easier or take an extra day, then so be it. And I'm not gonna lie, yeah, that's just kind of the reality of where I've been at. But definitely things have been on a very upward trajectory, and we've made some really positive changes, I think.
How much time did you take off after the World Championships?
I mean, it was definitely several weeks, not totally off, but definitely I wasn't really working out hard, still running, but it's just putting more of an emphasis, on just strengthening certain things. You've got to lengthen other things, and just continuing to work on mechanically. There was just changes that had happened, and getting all that stuff back before I could really resume heavy training.
So that back injury, did you ever consider having surgery for it?
I mean, surgery is always the last resort in my mind. I'm very, very big believer in you explore every option, to do that. Surgery, it's sometimes you need it, and that's totally fine. But yeah, if you can avoid it, it's just so invasive, and sometimes it can lead to other problems. So I haven't really considered getting surgery on it at this point.
So just physical therapy, is that your main?
A lot of physical therapy, a lot of strengthening, stretching. I've been doing Pilates a lot, which has helped. Get acupuncture, different. Try to throw the kitchen sink at it.
How much pain do you still have with the back injury?
I've been pain free for a good amount. Yeah, it's been feeling pretty good. So knock on wood that holds up on Sunday. we'll see. But yeah, things have definitely been going forward, and it's with nerve stuff. I've never really had to deal with that before. Obviously, I have a lot of muscle tendon injuries, but it's been a different journey. Having something where my leg just doesn't work right sometimes, and it feels like I just can't. No matter how hard I try, it just that nerve's not getting through. And those are the days where it's like we got to just back off. We got to, do some more exercises, stretch things out, get it treated, and then go back to hard training. But yeah, it sounds bad, I guess, when I'm hearing myself talk about it right now. But things have really, the last couple of weeks have been going all right.
You said you're optimistic. Well, what result will allow you to leave here happy?
I think just a positive step. I think every time I told the line, I'm here to compete. I wouldn't come here if that wasn't the case. And I still feel like I can run really well. Like fitness is not an issue. I think my fitness is good. It's just been a matter of getting healthy. And,
what's really well on Sunday? Is it a time? Is it a result? Like what is it?
Well, I'm a competitor first and foremost. And I think that when you enter these races, times are great, but I would rather win in 2:20 than run 2:07 and get 10th place. So that's always been my mindset coming into any race, and that's the way I'm going to be approaching Sunday as well.
It's been a while since an American man's won this race. What's it going to take? Is you the gap closing, chances for America to be on top Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I would certainly love that. But it's, as always, this is a great field here. I think that distance running in America, just as a whole, on the track is really improved dramatically in the last 5 or 10 years, and so it's fun. It's good to see Americans being competitive. I think it's great for younger generations to have people like that to look up to and say like, for a while. I remember when I was younger, it was hard looking at people. Just to make a world championships or Olympic team was a big deal, and a lot of times like people were struggling just to hit the standard. It was like, if you got the standard, you'd be going to make a team. It didn't matter how you had to compete. So to see a lot of great athletes, both the men and women's side, competing at a world level is awesome.
Is it hard to get that? When you talk about your fitness is there, and as you get older, as anyone gets older, the injuries become more of a concern and more prevalent. Is it hard as an aging athlete to sort of accept that idea that my body's not going to behave the way it used to?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a different mindset, I think. Obviously I think everybody could probably relate to this. You recover a lot better from things when you're 25 as opposed to when you're 35, and I'm sure the same is true at 45 and 55 and all the way down the road. So I mean, I think that just for me personally, being more okay with taking an extra day here or there. I was always the type of athlete that wanted to do as much as I can in training, and that's still my mindset. But you have to be aware of maybe I can't do the same amount of high intense workouts as frequently as I did 10, 15 years ago, and it's just reality. You got to be okay with maybe taking an extra day and listening to your body, and that doesn't mean that in a lot of ways getting older too has a lot of benefits. I think people just look at it as a negative, but your cardiovascular system, there's years and years and years of work that you've done and put in. That system gets more developed as you age, and why I think you see a lot of people really running well in a marathon at 30, 35, even Kipchoge's almost 40. He just broke the world record, and that stuff doesn't leave you. Your engine continues to build. Your heart never gets time off. It's not like a muscle injury where if you don't use it or you're in a cast, it'll atrophy. Like your heart's always working, it's always beating, and that continues to develop. So again, you just have to be cognizant, I think, of the quality and the rest periods between things. But yeah, you can still run at an incredibly high level, I think, as you get older, for sure.
If you had to put a number on like how healthy you are right now, 100%, 85%, 70%, where would you land?
I don't know. I'm not gonna play that game, I think, but I'm a lot healthier than I was in Eugene. I can say that for sure.
Since moving to the marathon in 2016, you've sat atop like the U.S. marathoning scene. Do you feel like the gap is closing on you? You got Connor Mantz running into Chicago, and like, how much are you watching your back now? I guess in the lead up to, I mean, we're less than 2 years away from the next trials.
I mean, I'm still focused on, myself. At the end of the day, it's all I can control is what I do. My preparation, my training, my health, and that's always been my mindset. It's like being the best athlete I can be 24/7. Every day of the year, just trying to get better. And, that approach is never going to change for me while I'm competing. But it is exciting. It's awesome to see. I was in Chicago, and I was able to watch that race, and it's really fun to see that there's a new crop of marathoners coming up. And, I think that Connor definitely is someone that has a really bright future. And it's going to be fun to see, how he progresses, in the years to come, the more marathons he does.
Your old coach Alberto has a connection with this race. He won it 3 times. I'm wondering, when you were with him, did you ever talk about coming here and winning this race one day?
Never really talked about it. With him. And yeah, I mean, I've seen, I guess maybe video of him crossing the finish line, those pictures. But yeah, we never really talked about his experiences here.
What kept you away from here all these years?
It just didn't work out. I think that again, I ran in Chicago and I have a real close connection with the city there. Given that my dad's from there, but certainly New York it's always been something that I've wanted to do, and it's just awesome that the opportunities come up and that everything worked out this year to come here. So I'm pumped. I've done the half here a couple times, but never the full marathon. So it'll be good. Everybody I've talked to just has the most amazing things to say about the race here and the atmosphere, and I just can't wait to be a part of that experience on Sunday.
Training-wise, what's different prepping for New York than Chicago? Obviously, a much hillier course with the bridges and all that stuff. So what did you have to do differently?
I mean, certainly, like in Chicago, it's very flat there, so you don't have to necessarily work a lot. I still do a lot of hills, even getting ready for a flat course. I think that's just a really good thing to do as a runner. It's great for your mechanics, it's good for your speed, it's good for your strength, and so it's not a ton has changed. Certainly we put a little bit more emphasis, I would say, on strength and doing hills for this, and definitely in some of my longer runs, making sure I incorporate some more hills, at different points in that run to try to, simulate and get ready for this. But yeah, I mean, you got to be fit, to run these races, and New York seems like it's a lot like a cross country course. It's very kind of up and down. There's some bigger hills, but they're thrown in here and there, and there's some flat parts too. So definitely, you always want to tailor your training a little bit to the course that you're about to run.
How do you size up a field like this where like the first top 9 guys are all from different countries, the PRs, I mean, you got 4 guys under 205. So I mean, does that, you just throw all that out the window and just race on race day? How do you approach it?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of one of those things where you certainly have to be aware of your competition, if they have tendencies or, who, how fast they've run, things like that. Obviously if there's a guy that hasn't, he's run 2:15 and he goes out in like 62 minutes, you're going to be more likely to say, well, he's probably going to come back. But at the same time, though, your focus should be solely on yourself and what you need to do, because if I don't execute my plan and what I need to do to be prepared to run a great race, then it doesn't matter at all what my competition is doing. Like, I have no control over what they do, and so it's a balance of being, again, I'd say just aware of who you're competing against, but at the same time, just really focusing on yourself and what you need to do to execute.
2021, I remember you saying you hadn't run a step with like another person for a long time. This time around in training, I mean, did you change things up, or is it still a total solo effort?
No, I've been by myself in Portland now.
Wow. Used to it by now, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've gone through periods a lot, where we're running. Obviously, it'd be great to have some training partners, but there's benefits to running, on your own as well. It's sometimes it's easier to take a day a little easier. Sometimes if you want to go harder, you have more leeway in that than obviously if you're running other people. You learn to tough stuff out. There's no hiding behind, I'm going to have a pacer, for every workout, or I'm going to have someone to just sit behind. And you definitely, at least myself, I've really am grateful for the opportunities to be able to sit behind people and relax in that. But when I get to a race like this, you know, it's nice.
Sort of health question. What do you weigh right now? And in long term, it's been hard to maintain that. Nev once said that his body was so efficient, he burned like maybe a banana on a long run. What do you weigh now that you maintain and is it hard?
What do I weigh right now? I think I'll probably weigh about 134,
And is that
135
your
pounds.
ideal? Like, is that
Yeah, it's been pretty consistent for me. Yeah, you know, I've never. It's always been. I eat the same, you know, as I did 10 years ago.
you're not on the scale every day?
No, not like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you said before how just hearing yourself talk about taking days and recovering. When did you think that changed? I mean, you probably younger self be like, take a day off. I can't do that. I need to keep on running.
Yeah.
Like,
I was, you know, even when I was younger, I never had a problem. So if I was told to like take a day off, I'd be like, all right, great. Like I don't have to go train today. I never had a problem doing that. I think as I've gotten older, almost it's been harder for me to try to take a day off more because you always want to say like, you want things to be perfect, you want things to do it. And it's easy to look, you know, in the past, maybe what I was doing 10 years ago on the track and say like, oh, I wish I could still hit all this stuff. But, you know, my wife reminds me all the time, she's like, it's different. You know, you're not the same person you were when you were 25 and it's okay. You know, Mike reminds me of the same thing, you know, and so it probably comes now from more of a place of insecurity, you know, just about like wanting to put in all this stuff. But like I mentioned earlier, you know, there's cardiovascular system's great. I've had so many years, decades of running hard, you know, and really a lot of uninterrupted training. And so that's a big positive, and it's just different, you know, it's not better or worse, it's just different.
Your old coach Alberto, who's banned by Safe Sport either last year or earlier this year, you knew him better than anyone. He was alleged to have done some kind of monstrous things. I was just wondering, like, what was your reaction when you found out about that? Were you surprised at all?
Yeah, I mean, I was certainly surprised. You know, I would say that the person I know, you know, it's very. What I heard was totally different than the person that I know and was so close with, you know, since I was 15. So certainly, yeah, I was definitely surprised.
Thanks, Galen.
Galen, how's it work with you and Mike now? Like, is it a weekly check-in at the end of the week in terms of a phone call or email stuff?
No, we talk daily, like multiple times a day. Yeah. So he joke around and say, yeah, he texts me more than he does his wife. You know, and yeah, a lot of times, like, my wife will send videos to him, you know, during workouts. You know, we're just talking all the time, you know, and different reps. Sometimes, you know, just logistically he's not able to be by his phone all the time when I'm working out, but a lot of times, yeah, it's every rep, you know, and if there's a little, you know, niggle or problem that comes up, then, you know, we talk about it, and he's right there, and we deal with it right then. So again, it's a little different, but we talk all the time. You know, I think communication is, we said from the beginning, it's going to be really key.
You brought up that instance where your wife has to remind you, like, you're not the same athlete as you used to be. What prompts a conversation like that? Is that over dinner when you get home and frustrated after a workout, or like when do those instances come up?
Definitely not over dinner. Like, we don't talk about running or anything. Like, I mean, honestly, it's probably more about when I'm just venting about stuff or I'm frustrated, and you know, she'll remind me, and she knows me better than anybody, so she knows how to calm me down and say the right things. So yeah, they just kind of takes it as they come, I guess. But yeah, it's not like we're sitting down every day and talking about this is what I do in training and all that.
Appreciate it, Galen.
Yeah.